love this song. That's what you say too. Little T of P. On Mondays we're soulful.
Okay.
I love it. Okay. It's Tower of Power.
Oh, command your morning. What's going on, everybody?
That's a big deal.
Wow.
That's
what
a big
weekend.
deal.
What a weekend, Jesse.
Was it?
I think we were both dead. I think
we're alive today.
We're alive today. The reason why I say that is because Jesse and I, well, the dead that we were, it was a good kind of dead. Because it was COVID vaccine dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my second shot. Jesse got her J&J shot.
One and done.
Yeah. Well, I got the second, like, Moderna. And that second Moderna shot just knocks you out for, I mean, I don't know what was going on. Oh. And then you were knocked out for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Because the J&J just goes right to the bloodstream.
Yeah. Yep. It was weird, man. It was like Thursday, 3 or 4 o'clock. I got it and died. I was alive enough to read a text from you. I think it was Friday morning that said, "I'm dead."
You're right.
That's all it said.
Well, I said, on Thursday, I said, I'm getting my second shot. I don't think we're going to be able to do the show. I'm just putting that out there just, in case. And lo and behold,
dead.
I was dead.
Yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. I got up, took a shower. I still had like the fog, this like heavy quicksand tornado of a fog that I was in. And all of a sudden it just lifted. It just lifted. It left. It was like catharsis. It was amazing. And so I came in to the office to catch up on something or to do something. I rearranged my office and I'm alive. I'm alive today. So are you?
I am so glad that you're alive because I didn't have time to find a new co-host.
Good. That's good.
Hey, so you know what, Jesse? I was thinking the other day because I subscribe to a lot of weird, crazy things. Oh. And I feel like, my wife and I were trying to cut down on things that we subscribe to, right? Because one thing you're subscribing, it's $5 over here. It's $10 over here. And I subscribe to like physical things that come in the mail, like in the boxes and stuff. And I was thinking like there's boxes for like literally everything, right? So I have a comic book box that I get in the mail and I get a t-shirt and I get a little action figure. These are for grown-ups, by the way. It's not a kid's comic. Listen, this is grown-up stuff. It's it's not kid comic book stuff. And then we subscribe to something called Universal Yums, which I may have talked about before, which every month sends you food from all around the world, which is great for the kids. And then I was doing some research to find out like what other types of boxes there are. And do you subscribe to anything that comes in the mail on a monthly basis other than a magazine?
Bully Make or Bully Mate. It's for my boxers. They're really tough toys and snacks for dogs.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think I used to subscribe to something in that sense as well. So I was looking through what other types of subscription boxes there are. Book of the Month Club, obviously, that's a good one.
That's cool.
But I don't know if I would do Book of the Month Club because then, what if I get a book that I just don't have any interest in reading? I just feel like that might be a waste. There's coffee ones. Let's see. Knit Crate. Have you ever wanted to start knitting, Jesse?
I knit.
Oh, you might want to subscribe to Knit Crate because you'll get premium yarn.
Ooh.
And hand-dyed limited edition colors where you can become a grandmother way before your time.
I should qualify this. I knit one thing. I know how to knit a dishcloth. I had to carry on the Newquist tradition of knitting dishcloths, and I guess I could knit a scarf too, which is just a really long dishcloth. That's all I can knit.
Yeah, we have Sock Fancy. I should get Sock Fancy.
You should. You should.
a fun, high-quality pair of socks. Choose between men's and women's socks, crew or no-show styles.
Mm.
Select your boldness level. Okay, that's a good one. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me. Here's the one that Loot Crate's Wizarding World box. I get Loot Crate's comic book box. That's a great one. Oh, Me Undies. You get new undies every month. I would take that one every month.
I'd take that one. I get I forget FabFitFun. It's all kinds of cool lotions and potions and fun stuff. But that's seasonally. You get that seasonally. It's pretty cool.
Some of these I'm not really sure. Like Kernel Crate, they'll send you all different types of popcorn. Like you really have to be a popcorn fanatic to get a popcorn crate.
I feel like I would still enjoy that. I think that makes a great gift.
Are there people out there that absolutely like just love popcorn? Like I would love a potato chip box. I feel like potato chips would be much more vast, right? Like popcorn, you think that's a niche? I don't know. I feel like popcorn is only at the movie theaters. I don't know.
I've tried some of the wine ones, and I feel like it's all the stuff that like people didn't buy. I haven't enjoyed much when I've subscribed to the wine ones. I don't know.
How about Bootay bag? Bootay bag. Bootay bag.
Excuse me? Yeah, what does that one come with exactly?
It just asks you to choose your size and style preferences. Expect some super cute undies. What's with all the undie boxes? Why are there 2 undie boxes?
I feel like I need one now.
Yeah, so this is another one that they just kind of like, mix it up. I don't know. I feel like if there's 2 undie boxes, that might be a thing that is not really kind of untapped. Maybe there needs to be more booty boxes. Or I
think that's a great one. My I'm calling him out here. My brother-in-law, every 6 months, he throws away all of his socks and undies, which I think is great, and starts over. And so like he never has like mismatched socks. He never has it. And so this would be a great thing for him. I don't know that I'm going to buy that for him, but
anyway, I just wanted to talk about all the weird things you can subscribe to. I'm sure there's weirder.
Can I tell you what I solved while I was dead?
Oh, sure.
I found a breathtakingly simple way to beat procrastination.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it really works. It's science. Okay, so there is hope for us. By the way, procrastination, if you don't know, it's a stress release. That's all it is. So like when you're trying to work on something or start something and you pull up Facebook or you pull up social media of any kind, you're not lazy, you're just stressed out. It's just a little hit of dopamine that your brain wants. So you're not lazy, you're just stressed when you're procrastinating. And this is how to beat it. It's lower your expectations. So if you are, let's say the thing that you have to do, let's say I have to make these 20 phone calls. I got to make these 20 phone calls and then I'm done. If you would just lower your expectations to 5, like I'm going to cut it by 75% and I'm only gonna make these 5 phone calls. Number one, you usually make more, you usually double that. So you hit at least half your goal. And number two, it's better than doing the nothing that you would have done if you kept your expectations so high time after time after time after time. So it's lowering your expectations makes you not as lazy.
I like that. Solved. I think that has to do with people too. Mm-hmm. When you expect too much from people, or if you do something for someone and you expect something in return, especially when you especially when you expect too much. Mm-hmm. Don't expect too much, and then you won't be disappointed.
Yeah,
so I like that, and you could do that with reading a book. I do that with reading a book. I'm like, okay, I'm going to read 10 pages, and then I go, I'm going to finish this chapter because that will put me at 15 pages. So I think that's a great strategy you can put towards a lot of things. Yep,
I do it around my birthday and Christmas. Mm-hmm.
For your birthday, it's like, don't expect gifts.
Yep, I just run. I run away.
You do that to your husband, like, listen, you don't need to get me anything.
I don't have to.
I did that once when my wife was like, listen, you don't need to get me anything because we, did that thing for both of us that one time, and it costs a lot of money. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I don't think I got or something. And then
That's not a good idea.
Don't take your significant other literally. I
Yeah.
just want to, but I like that
Literally.
strategy. And we have a great guest coming on for you today.
I have high expectations.
His name is Wes Griffin. I'm going to let you introduce Wes because I know that you guys are besties, and we'll be right back with Wes. Oh, hey, Wes. I'm trying to figure out these controls here. That wasn't as smooth as I would have hoped.
Hi, Wes.
I love your studio. This is very cool.
It is extremely cool. It's extremely cool. Wes Griffin, team leader. Tell us, give us a 60-second Wes Griffin. Who are you, Wes Griffin? What do you do?
Who am I? I am the team leader at Keller Williams Fort Worth down here off of Hewlin, and been the team leader here. I became team leader just in time to intercept the pandemic. It was like, congratulations, you're team leader. Here, have a pandemic.
Have a pandemic.
Oh, is that
congratulations?
Were you team leader right at the beginning of 2020?
Yeah. Family reunion last year. I stepped in and right soon after.
Great time.
You're
time.
Team leader, and by the way, you have to do it during lockdown.
Well, and you've had tremendous success as team leader. Wes is beloved. He's beloved by his people and by all the people that he meets with, and so we're glad to have you. Glad to speak with you this morning, sir.
Yeah, and by the way, I have to disagree with you guys on the expectation thing.
Please.
I have huge expectations for my birthday. I expect to get lots of cake and lots of gifts.
Okay.
So I just had to disagree on that.
And so when you do that, does it always come true?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There was one caveat to that because I have a niece that was born about 13 or 14 years ago. Can't remember exactly how old she is, but she stole my birthday. She has the same birthday as I do.
Okay, what day is your birthday?
Diminished a little bit. April 20th.
Oh, okay. So 420. You're born on 420. You don't get jokes about that often.
You know, Wes, last week we were talking about the Mars rover because on 420, the Mars rover created oxygen from the atmosphere. So it inhaled the atmosphere in Mars on 420, and you were born on 420.
Yeah.
There's a lot to celebrate on 420.
We got a text from our 15-year-old on 420. It said, the hallways already smell like weed at like 9:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Well, that's what's going on in the Newquist household.
Seriously, he was at school, so
but
even
not
better.
Your hallways, so not your home.
Not our hallways. No.
Oh, the school hallways.
Yeah, the school. The hallways already smell like weed.
Hey, Wes, I want to ask you a quick question. I don't know you basically at all, but I feel like I found out a lot about you by looking at your Facebook page, and you're a drummer.
I am.
And you fund your drumming profession. I don't know. Are we going to call it a profession?
It's a profession. Sure.
We're in our 40s. Is drumming in a band a profession?
I'll say it was a profession before the pandemic, but before COVID, drumming was definitely a profession.
Well, because I want to tell you that, like, my father-in-law is also a drummer. He went to Fantasy Band Camp in Los Angeles, and he had really famous band camp counselors.
I want to know more about Fantasy Band Camp.
I'm going to text him and ask him, and hopefully during this show I can tell you who it was. But he's a drummer too. So tell me about your drumming life.
Yeah, so I've been a drummer pretty much my whole life. I was a band director as well. So my first career, pre-real estate, I was a band director for 20 years. And in the midst of that, I also played professionally. I've played professionally since about 1992.
So cool.
From, playing with local symphonies, playing with I usually tell people I play whatever style of music they pay me to play. So that could be anything from polka music to I've played with a George Michael cover band.
Stop it.
So cool.
So my passion is jazz. I love playing jazz, and that's in fact tonight I'm playing a concert over in North Richland Hills. So.
How fun.
Yeah.
Okay, what you're playing a jazz concert. Tell me about the concert tonight.
Yeah, so it's a little group called Jazz at Jim's, and it's kind of funny because I'm the youngest member of the group by about 20 years.
That's cool.
Well, you keep them young, Wes.
Yeah, my wife tells me all the time I need to find friends that are my own age. But no, really, these are 5 of my favorite people on the face of the planet, and I enjoy getting to hang out with them. But we've done this pretty much since May of last year. We do a front porch concert at Jim's house, and
cool.
It's over there in North Richland Hills area, and he lives on a cul-de-sac up on a hill, so it's kind of a perfect little amphitheater, and we fill the cul-de-sac with people at social distance.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. That's super. That's so creative too. And so you became a team leader at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so you figured out how to play music for people socially distanced. And I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but being a team leader, pretty easy, right? Pretty simple.
Walk in the park.
Easy peasy. Yeah. Or it's basically like an accelerated MBA while you're on fire.
I was a team leader for about 20 months. And if it was a lot harder to be a team leader, I would still be one. But it was just so easy that I just didn't want to do it anymore. That's how easy it was.
I know, not enough of a challenge, right? So
I love being blamed for everything in the market center.
Oh, I know. I wish there was more. I wish I could take more blame.
But can I tell you something real funny, Jesse? I know you want to say something, but I just feel like this is right now is the perfect time to say it. My broker at my market center when I was a team leader, she used to be a team leader too. And she said to me, I think I was having a really rough day one day, which was, I don't know, that doesn't narrow it down too much. But no, I'm kidding. I liked it. So she said one time she went to family reunion and it was a leadership session, and Gary comes out into the stage and there's 800 team leaders in the audience, and he looks out in the audience and he goes, team leaders, everything is your fault. Oh, you know what I mean? It's just so true.
It is. So did you, Wes, you caused the pandemic then, correct? And so how have you
Did you just say you caused the pandemic?
Yeah. Pretty well. He's a team leader.
So. You're a team leader.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, because everything's my fault. That's right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I don't believe that. I don't believe that though about you. I think that you actually you got us out of this. Like you are that beloved. So what have you done in your in your market center different than how it was previously? Like what did you change? How did you keep it all together and do it so well?
I think that probably the most important thing that we did from the very beginning, and Jesse and I are in the same region, so you'll probably remember that very first Zoom regional call, and everybody's kind of looking at each other like, how does this work? No one knows how to use Zoom yet. Yeah. I don't know if you remember this, Jesse, but I had just sent a text out to all of my agents and all of the agents around me, just to say, hey, how are you doing? Is there anything we can do for you? And during that regional call, my phone literally was just almost levitating because it was vibrating so much. It was it was insane. And the comments coming back were not, hey, leave me alone, or I don't need to be bothered right now. It was, thank you so much for reaching out. And a lot of them were, yes, actually, I need some water, or I need some toilet paper.
Yep.
Or,
yep.
It's this long list of needs. And it kind of sent us into this, we need to care for our people mode that we stayed in for, and in a way, we're still kind of in that, right? We're still in that care mode. So to me, the number one thing was just reaching out to people and making sure that we were talking to every single one of our agents and then some, right? Making sure they're okay.
Yeah.
You know, Wes, I think that there's two things there. One, I've spoken to agents at other companies who the pandemic hit and they still haven't heard from their broker, you know? And
I've talked to a lot of people right here in this chair that the reason they're here is because they don't even know their broker exists.
Oh, wow.
Right. And second, I think, you know, I got into real estate in 2007 and 2008 during, you know, a financial crisis, the worst in my lifetime. And when that happened, the year before I was waiting tables. So I made just shy of $20,000 in 2006, 2007. And then I made 75 to 80,000 my first year as a real estate agent in a financial crisis. Now,
good for you.
I think, and the reason I'm saying it is because when you're thrust into a situation that you don't know and you don't have anything to compare it to you, it's just the situation and you just do it. And so during the financial crisis, I didn't know any other way and I just did it. You as a team leader, you didn't know any other way, so you just do it, and it just becomes the way that you do it. And I think that once we get out of that, you have this way of doing it that is unconventional, that if you need to go back to the conventional way, it's a heck of a lot easier, and you're just going to soar.
It's a cinch.
It really, I mean, that was probably one of the most exciting things about doing that job during the pandemic. Is there were no rules. I mean,
right. You could just make it up. Like you could write the pandemic playbook for team leaders.
Yeah. I mean,
so in 100 years, they'll have something to go by.
Yeah.
Something, Wes, that you said, and if I'm calling you out, I sorry, not sorry, but this was just so cool. It was during a training and you and I were in the same Zoom breakout, and I don't remember what the training was. But you had mentioned that you had an agent that left for a broker across the street, and they essentially cap managed this agent. So this agent didn't have to pay a cap for, didn't have to pay a split or commission split to their broker for like a year or something like that. And so this was so great. So Wes started calling all of the other agents in that brokerage across the street and said, are you getting the same deal? That's amazing. Like, so you could sell real estate totally for free for the next year too. I loved your approach there. And I never got to hear the result. What happened from that amazing, literally my favorite tactic ever.
Yeah, that was actually in January, I think. And I think we've taken on, I think 6 agents from that brokerage.
So that brokerage said they could have a whole free year, and then the pandemic hit, and I'm assuming they changed their minds.
Oh, it's so funny. That's so good, though. But really,
KW is doing that, and the broker's saying that's impossible. They're going to go out of business, right?
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I just love that. I love that approach. You are. We have this little form that we force people to fill out so we can ask them questions and sound intelligent. And one of the things that you put on that form, Wes, was that you're currently obsessed with Jeeps and John Maxwell. I don't know anything about Jeeps. I don't know the questions to ask, but I know a lot about John Maxwell. Tell me what areas of your life is John Maxwell in right now, and how has he changed them?
Well, first let me talk about Jeeps for a second.
Okay. I guess.
I drive a really bright green Jeep, and it is
how cool.
It's one of my favorite things right now. And for my birthday this month, I actually got a Jeep top hoist. So my hard top is now suspended from the ceiling of my garage, which is awesome.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I'm topless today.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to say anything.
Beautiful weather out there. It's perfect.
It is beautiful. It's
so
a beautiful
John
Texas
Maxwell,
day.
So my OP, Scott Toller, who came in, I guess, end of 2019, and he is a John Maxwell coach, certified coach, and he turned me on to John Maxwell. I'd heard of him before, but I hadn't really read all of his books and all that kind of thing. And anyway, he really got me excited about him, and so now I listen to the Minute with Maxwell that they send out every day.
Mhm.
And right at the beginning of 2020, we went ahead and started doing a morning mindset, which I'm about to start being late for. But
Thank you.
I've got someone else handling.
Well, you're on a very important show.
This is important.
But we use the Minute with Maxwell as kind of our jumping off point, and I love it because in my agents that attend Morning Mindset love it as well, because there's mornings, I swear, it's like he knows exactly what we need to hear.
Right? He's been listening.
It's
I
it's
say
like
the same thing.
He's inside your head and he knows exactly what you need to hear. And so I love him to death. And it's actually on my bucket list now. I don't know if you guys did masterminds a couple of weeks ago, but the What Would You Do Before You Die with Ben.
Yes.
I really got into that, and I wrote down my bucket list, and that's now one of them is I want to sit down and have lunch with John Maxwell.
Oh, and he's your friend. He would love it.
Yeah, I'm
well, Jesse's OP are Linda and Jim McKissick, and they get to hang out with John Maxwell. So now Jesse gets to hang out with John Maxwell.
Yep.
So Wes, if you need to be connected, Jesse's in that circle now. So
best 2-for-1 deal ever. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
She calls him Johnny.
Yeah,
right.
My friend. Yeah. I should have pulled up a picture, me and my friend John. But no, what an awesome experience, and totally undeserved. And I just lucked out. I really did.
You want to know how you could really show your pull, Jesse?
Maybe
we could get John Maxwell for this show.
Whoa. You know
maybe
what?
We come on with Linda.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I want to see if you can make that happen.
See, now you're tugging at the right strings. Now
I'm just saying, listen, anything's possible, right?
Anything is possible. We actually learned over the at the John Maxwell's exchange event several months ago. I got to hang out with your OP too, Wes. I got to hang out with Scott.
Yep.
And Jim and Linda brought us, and we hung out with John Maxwell and all these amazing authors and speakers. And I'll tell you something else really cool that they did COVID wise. They were safe, and we all got to make responsible choices in a way that on our name tags, we had a red dot. We could choose a red dot. We could choose a yellow dot, or we could choose a green dot. And the green dot was, I'm making a personal choice and I'm cool with it, and I feel well. And so I'm cool to have a handshake or a hug. And the red people are like, I got my mask on and keep
I've heard
away,
of that. That's
right?
Yeah.
And so it just made it so clear. It made it so clear on what we were supposed to do. That when we all started wearing masks, we're like, I don't know. How do I shake, elbow, what? And the huggers are in pain. And
now is when someone walks into my office to meet me for the first time, it's that game of.
Yep.
Well, I also feel, Wes, like if someone's going to come into your office, because it's not a big office, but it's a nice little. I would just at that point, they might, if they're going to see you in person, that person might be okay with it, but you still want to ask, obviously.
Yeah, you have to.
Like I'm such a hypochondriac where I'm going to be wearing masks for the next 5 years. That's
it's not a terrible idea.
I'm worried about stuff. But
I don't think they're going away. Do y'all? I don't think masks are going away. I think they're part of our culture now in a lot of ways.
They're a walking billboard if you're not taking if you're not taking advantage of it.
True. I enjoyed
go away in Fort Worth. They might go away.
Okay, good.
If they're going to go away somewhere, it'll be in Fort Worth.
If they're going to go away somewhere, it's going to be Texas or Florida. You guys are in a race.
Wes, can you tell us about tell us the story? I saw pictures on your social media several months ago of chili being poured over a team leader's head.
Oh dear.
Can you tell us that story?
I can.
It'll never happen here. To me.
No, we had a phenomenal chili cook-off fundraiser last October. We raised $11,000 for KW Cares.
Wow.
And,
awesome.
Just an amazing event. And I think it was about $3,000 to $5,000 of that was agents donating so that they could see their team leader get chili dumped on their heads.
So awesome.
Ultimately, at the end, so it was 3 market centers contributing to this. West Fort Worth, which is Erica, and Erica Lawrence, and then Tim down in Johnson County. And so all 3 of us at the end of that day we stood in a little baby pool, and they dumped a huge vat of chili. It was nice, cold, lukewarm chili.
Ugh.
It was.
I was going to ask you, was it like hot or what?
Yeah.
It was cold, Wolf brand, nasty, greasy chili.
I would have had a bowl and some cornbread as it was dumping on my head. And listen, this can't all go to waste.
No, trust me, because the chili that you got to eat was way, way better than the chili that was hitting.
Got it. Good. So they didn't waste good food on you.
Oh yeah. No.
Wes, listen, you're just not good enough to have filet mignon dumped on your head. It's gonna be McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Yeah, we are team leaders for all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm meat sensitive as it is. Like someday I can't call myself a vegetarian because sometimes I do eat meat, but man, that would do it for me. I'd be a vet. That's it. Sorry.
Well, I don't eat meat because I'm a veterinarian.
I'm a veterinarian.
Remember that commercial? That was a blast from the past.
I don't remember that commercial, but
I'm showing my age right now. So Wes, tell us some of the things that you had to do differently, or the same because you didn't know any other way when you became team leader of the pandemic. What did you do that is now continuing to work for you?
Well, so I was assistant team leader before that for about 1.5 years.
Okay.
So I did have some litmus test, to kind of base it on. I would say the number one thing is, because a lot of what we do is recruit, right? And so I had to figure out how do I get a hold of everybody and set appointments. And so I went straight to Facebook, and I basically went through Facebook finding real estate agents that I had a connection with. And oh my gosh, the brilliance of Facebook,
stalking. Heck yeah.
It knows.
Love it.
It's like it knows who I needed to talk to, and amazingly, almost everybody I reached out to had a Facebook conversation with me, because guess what? Everybody was on Facebook in April of 2020.
Yeah, and you know what? Can I tell you something that one of my friends here in Michigan, who is a team leader, Rob Chubb, he started posting all of these images every time he would meet with one of his agents, whether it be Zoom or in person. If they were in person, they were socially distanced in his office, they had masks on. But he would post on Facebook always a picture of him with that agent. It was so great to meet with Jesse today. We talked about their business and figured out how we were going to blah, 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 and do this, that, and the other. And so he would do that every day with all of these different agents in his office. And so he would get organic appointments because he would have agents calling him that he had been in conversation with saying, I haven't even heard from my broker, and you guys are like talking face to face and meeting and this, that, and the other. And you'd be surprised. I mean, that was super successful for him, right? Because it was a time where everyone's eyes were glued to the computer, and you took advantage of that. And then you were showing people what they were not getting when they thought they would, because they loved their broker and their broker was so supportive. And then when they needed their broker wasn't there. I'm not saying that's everybody. I'm saying that it happened a lot. And if you take advantage of the eyeballs in that situation, it's going to work out for you.
Yeah. And I think in 2020, I think everyone made a choice. I mean, you talk about it. To me, it's the year of polarization. I mean, it's everybody's here or here, right? And I think everyone made a choice in real estate to either just shut down and hibernate for the year, or I'm going to do this and I'm just going to figure out how to do it safely and successfully, right? And sadly, that game was also played with brokers, and I think that I'm still reaping the benefits, going back to that text that I sent in at the end of March of last year. I'm still having conversations, powerful conversations around all kinds of stuff with people, just simply because I started that conversation with, hey, how can I help you? Is there anything I can do for you? Because at that point, for a couple of weeks, they hadn't heard from anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was and like you said, it's that the fact that we started those conversations when they needed us. Now we're having still very productive conversations. I still have a long pipeline of people that I'm still getting to, but it started there. It started with that conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You brought up such a great point about how Facebook knows who you need to talk to.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, we need to lean on that more, almost, right? Like if you just got on there, and since Facebook knows, it showed you the way, it showed you the people, and so that's getting to hang out there all day and make the connections that you need to make because of it. That's a pretty cool job in general, I'd say. We're lucky as team leaders. We really are. The greatest job in the world. No, really, it is. It's an amazing opportunity. Nick, how many doors that the job opened for you, and how many people and relationships you got into because of it. It's pretty cool.
It definitely, if you want any sort of leadership, if you want to be considered for some sort of leadership, not just within our company, but I think anywhere, right? Like the team leader position at Keller Williams to any organization is highly respected. So if you have that on your resume and you want to stay within KW, or maybe you want to go somewhere else, it looks really good. If you're in the job for longer than 18 months, it looks really good. So
woo, we made it. We made it. We got there. I've only got a couple months on US. I got to be team leader for 3 months before I was handed a pandemic too. And so I'm with you. I get you. And great job. I need to ask you what books are you reading? And I need to ask you about your morning, more specifically, what you do. Tell me what books you're reading, podcasts you're listening to right now.
Well, I re-listen to Think Like a CEO all the time because I'm kind of obsessed with Gary Keller. I'll admit it.
Fangirl.
Yeah. In fact, another thing on my bucket list someday is I want to play drums with Gary Keller at family reunion.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's one of my goals.
It's out there now.
I haven't read it yet, but this is a book that Scott just gave me, so I will be reading it. It's called I Love
It Here.
Yeah.
What's that thing? I Love It Here. What's the subtitle?
It says, How Great Leaders Create Organizations Their People Never Want to Leave.
Oh.
Yeah.
Buying it today.
Yeah. And I would say the other one that sits on my bedside, and it's a book I kind of love and hate at the same time, but it's called The Road Less Stupid.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'll read it and it kind of ticks me off because it's talking about me.
It steps on your toes, doesn't it?
And I throw it down, and a couple of weeks later I'll pick it up and read it again.
I'm at trial 6 or 7 of starting to read that book too. So.
My favorite season of Think Like CEO, I believe, is it season 2 where they talk about how MREA was written, Millionaire Real Estate was written?
I think so. But
I think it's not season 1. I think they dabble in it, but I think season 2 is kind of the evolution of that book.
Talking about Gary, and then you're right. Then they talk about
season 2 is great. It just kind of. Season 1's great too, but I like the way that podcast follows a really great timeline in Gary's journey in building KW. But season 2 really digs into MREA. So if you really want to get into it, definitely listen to all of them, but for me, season 2 was the most impactful. I just thought it was great.
Yeah.
But I think Jesse's got a hard stop because she's got to do mommy stuff. She has to go drive her son to school, right?
Yes.
He doesn't have his license yet, but he's old enough. Just leave him the car.
Just leave him the car. Sure.
Well,
sure. No
Well,
problem.
you talk about your morning quickly. What's your morning routine? Wes?
Me?
Yeah.
My morning routine. So I get up and I exercise a little bit. I get up here and I have a cup of coffee, and then I do a little, CEO podcast. And actually, I usually start that on my drive to work. I'll listen to that driving in. And then every morning I do morning mindset at 8 a.m. with my agents. And, I started doing it for them, but it's, I'll tell you a secret. It's really more.
Oh, yeah.
Because those are the agents that are super powerful, and they're full of energy, and they kind of feed off of each other. So I really like that.
That's awesome, man.
Hey,
That's great.
Quick, my culture committee chair would kill me if I didn't say that we are doing that chili cook-off again this year.
Awesome.
And it's going to be held at the TX Distillery here in Fort Worth.
Oh, that's so
Come
cool.
on down, Nick. We'll pour some chili on your head.
When is that?
Will travel.
That's going to be, I believe it's October. It's the second Thursday in October.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
I will travel great distances to dump chili on people's heads, Wes.
There you
At
go.
a distillery? I mean, come on.
Oh, and
That's
drink
awesome.
alcoholic. Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
Well, Wes, thank you for being here. Jesse, I know you got to go. We don't want you to miss
guys.
dropping your kid off from school. He's got to learn. Education is important.
It is.
So
thanks, guys.
Thank you for being here with us. Everyone have a great Monday. And
Wes, you're awesome.
Thanks, Wes.